back to the Ready or Not weapons and gear showcase and overview series I'm doing. Today we're going to be talking about the long tactical gear here. The mirror gun, the breaching shotgun, the ballistic shield, and the battering ram. First up we're going to have the mirror gun. Allows you to look under doors and around corners. So let's whip this out. This is what it looks like when you're not using it. I don't think you can customize these, right? Yeah. And this is basically the functionality of the weapon. Or not the weapon, but the tool basically. It's pretty simple and straightforward. You hold left mouse button when you're looking down at the door. This allows you to see on the other side of the door. It's a very simple tool, but incredibly useful in this game. Here, once we get into the next room, I'll show you why. Using this to look under. First of all, sometimes there's traps on doors that have a tripwire attached to a flashbang or a grenade on the other side that you have to look for to make sure when you break down the door you won't die, which is incredibly useful for that. Plus, you can see into the room. So as you can see there's like two suspects. One to the right, and there's like a window, and you can see the legs of another, suspect apparently because it's got the bullseye on it. So if I hadn't used the mirror gun, I wouldn't have known that there were two suspects and where they are. So now when I enter the room with my gun, first of all, I know I'm not triggering a trap, and then I know exactly where these suspects are. It also helps for, like, if there's a civilian close to the door or something, that you don't bust in and shoot them immediately, or you don't use an explosive breach and accidentally kill somebody on the other side that's close to the door. It also allows you to wallbang people on the other side of the door pretty effectively. This is a civilian, so, rest in peace here. See if those actually hit. Which is incredibly... it doesn't look like it hit, so... point not proven here. But yeah, if someone's on the other side of the door... This one's a good one, actually. As you can see, there's someone right there on the other side of the door through that window. I don't know if we'll be able to see bullet holes in here from there. But since there's somebody on the other side of that door, I know he's there, and if I don't want to just open and breach and kill him that way, you can just spray through the door, and most of the time it'll get him. And even if it doesn't, again, you know he's there, so... As you can see, my spraying, I feel like it should have hit him, but I don't know. I guess not. Also good for situations like this, so you know the situation. Oh, there's a hostage, no trap on the door. Enter. You probably would want to just open the door, breach it down. So, here, immediately warn him, or you can immediately take some shots at his head. So overall, the mirror gun is an incredibly useful tool to have in your Ready or Not group. I recommend running this no matter the map, no matter the situation. It is, put simply, one of the best tools in the game and an absolute must-have for clearing efficiently, so you can discern and see the situation on the other side of a door and make sure it's not trapped, so you guys aren't walking into a fucking grenade or flashbang that could kill you or get you killed. Next up is the breaching shotgun here. Quickly and effectively blows open doors. Hopefully we didn't knock too many of those out last time, so I can actually still show some of these later ones. Okay, let's close this door, for example. Show the functionality. So effectively it is just... Oh, I can't really open it here. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna have to use it on this door. Closed door. So effectively, it is just a, shotgun. Although I will say I'll show this later, but not very effective against enemy targets. So don't think of this as like a third weapon basically to have. Just think of it as only being used to breach the doors. It's not very good for killing or, you know, anything like that. Just like regular shotguns aren't good at breaching doors. So this is the functionality of it. Say this door was locked, we need to get it open real quick. Basically just blows it open right there. And, you know, sometimes it can make a bigger blast and, you know, tear through a door. Sometimes it won't, but it will get the door open. It'll, you know, obviously unlock it, get the door open, and you're in action, ready to, breach the room. As for what I said against, let's find a target that doesn't have bullet holes in it. As for what I said against, it's not very effective against, you know, targets like this. As you can see, it did put a bullet hole in them, but if the target is armored, or you hit them in an area that's not vital, or, you know, you hit them from far away, it's not going to do much to them. Yes, it theoretically can kill, I believe, but it's not the functionality of the weapon, and it's definitely not the most effective way of doing anything like that. So I would only recommend using it as a weapon, as like an absolute last resort type of thing, because it is not a very good actual weapon. Let's see here. I know this is a civilian, so my bad for killing him, but as you can see, I just put 4 rounds into this dude, and he's very clearly bleeding, so we did something, but he is not going down. That's for something like an MP5. Few bullets, he's down. So as you can see, it's not a very effective weapon in any regards, even though it is a shotgun. Overall, the breaching shotgun, while an effective tool and it does what you would expect it to do, overall, I have to say that the breaching shotgun feel is kind of lackluster compared to basically every other tactical gear you could bring. It is by no means necessary or even really recommended equipment to bring unless you just want to have it for some reason. There are other ways to open and breach doors, and even in the long tactical gear itself, there lies a much more efficient and better way of doing it in the Battering Ram, which we'll get to later. So overall, I'd say breaching shotgun probably the least useful of the long tacticals, and I wouldn't recommend using it or bringing it unless you just want one, or just because, or you just like using it. Mainly because it doesn't really, even though it will open doors, you know, if a locked door, it's not going to be locked after you shoot the fucking thing with this. But it doesn't fully open the door, so you still kind of have to get it out of the way, which can be annoying. Unlike the Battering Ram, which is here, that does fully open it. It's not terrible. It does what it says it's going to do, but it's a slightly less efficient way of breaching the doors than basically every other way of breaching a door. So, not incredibly useful. Next up, we got the Ballistic Shield. It protects against direct fire, only usable with sidearms. Let's show this off here. This is what it looks like when you're behind it. And obviously, we'll get into the shoothouse. You can't aim around it, so you can't fire with this thing. Obviously, narrows your field of view quite a bit, which is kind of a con for somebody, for some people. You can't have full range of your weapon though behind it, and you can use your weapon. You can't really aim, so you're kind of just roughly, you know, guessing where you think the bullets are gonna go. But to be honest, you should, and you also can't open doors. I forgot about that, but overall, this is really just used for the first person breaching the room, so that they get shot in the shield, and somebody else doesn't get shot in like the face or the chest and kills them, because this is capable of withstanding and taking, you know, multiple rounds, quite a bit of rounds from basically any gun, as long as there's no explosive trap or something on the door. This guy's gonna breach, they're gonna shoot him, not you. his shield's gonna take all the damage and he'll be fine, and you guys can clean up behind him. As far as shooting with behind this thing, it's I recommend using something like a flashlight or a laser just to get an idea of where your bullets are actually gonna go, because as you can see, if you just fire without aiming, and I mean if you just spray and move around, you'll probably hit the target, but can't have much accuracy here, and it takes a bit of a learning curve to see without any attachments where your bullets are gonna go. But if you use an attachment, you can see roughly where the weapon's pointing and where it's gonna fire, and you'll have better accuracy overall with the weapon. So I definitely recommend using some attachment with whatever secondary you're running. In this case, the Glock 19. Overall, it's kind of hard to show the functionality of the Ballistic Shield in the shootouts, because you're not actually getting shot at all. And I don't really care to go out into a mission and kind of like explain it, you know, take that much time and show you just the functionality, try to get someone to shoot at me. But overall, basically what it does is when someone shoots at you, their bullets, you know, reflect or, you know, just don't impact you at all, you know. The shield basically blocks any arms fire that's coming your way, as long as they don't hit your, you know, legs or you crouching, you know. You're basically impervious from fire from the front. And one thing that can be annoying with this is that obviously even with the full shield here, not even being impacted by bullets yet, you can see the field of range or field of view is rather low, so it's really just that small window. Also, if you get shot, especially a lot, in that window, it can become very difficult to actually see through the window and discern what's going on. So that's another, you know, something you might want to take into consideration. But it's still possible to discern what's going on and see somewhat. Plus, you don't really need to see that well on this. You're really just a bullet sponge and the first guy into a room. So it's not the end of the world. Overall, the Ballistic Shield is a very useful long tactical gear option. I recommend having at least one guy per group, or, you know, however you split it up, running a Ballistic Shield, because having this guy and having him enter the room first, just, you know, there's a lot of peace of mind there that he's probably not going to get killed, assuming there's no traps or anything like that. And he can take bullets if there is an enemy on the other side that hasn't been dealt with, and it won't be a unarmored and non-ballistic shield wielding cop who's just going to get shot in the face if they're not quick enough to realize the situation. This gives you a lot of leeway, and, you know, gives you a lot of options and security when breaching into a room, that he's there and that he can take a couple bullets. If there's a suspect you don't know about, you don't deal with it quickly enough. So, very useful long tactical gear option, and definitely should have one of these in basically every game if you can. Last but not least, we got the Battering Ram. Knock knock. Used for getting past doors. Very good description. This is what it looks like in your hand. You can only really see the front end of it. Okay, let's close this door. So for locked doors, something you need to get open. This is one of the best ways, other than explosive, to just fucking blow open a door and get people in quickly. You can see here, we'll demonstrate it. Yeah, it basically just rams open a door, fully opens it, unlike the breaching shotgun. You can get right into a room. You know, it doesn't matter if it's locked or not, it's coming down. Bust open, someone going, you follow behind. It's a very effective tool for what it does. I think it's probably one of the better, if not, you know, well, there's different uses for different type of breaches, but it's a very effective breaching tool. Probably the best breaching tool for the tactical weapons. because I don't think this breaching shotgun's as good because it doesn't fully open the door. That. So you kind of have to get the, it's kind of like peeking the door almost. When you use the breaching shotgun, it kind of just like opens it like that, and you still have to get the door out of the way. Where in this, you don't have to deal with that. And just bust open the door. See again here. You probably wouldn't want to be the first one in the room like that, but I'm just showing the functionality of the weapon. Or very effective weapon. As far as using this as a weapon, you can actually do a little bit of damage with this, surprisingly. I don't know if it will display well here, but like if you hit other cops, they will get a reaction from this. I don't think it's anything that serious though, so definitely don't use this as a weapon. Use anything else, basically. Let's get back. Overall, the Battering Ram is a very good and effective tool for breaching down doors. I recommend, someone be running this in the group, or multiple people be running this in the group. They're very effective tools for, busting open locked doors, and, opens the door all the way, unlike the breaching shotgun, which is why I favor it over the breaching shotgun as a breaching tool in the long tactical. I think if someone in your group is running the breaching shotgun and they, aren't dead set on running it for whatever reason, definitely have them switch to a Battering Ram, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe there's a reason. There's like some really good reason for using the breaching shotgun over this that I'm missing, but I don't think so. And yeah, Battering Ram, very good tool, and definitely recommend using it. So that wraps up this episode of the gear overview for the long tactical gear in Ready or Not Early Access. And I hope you guys learns about the weapons and got a better sense for what you guys want to run and what you guys don't want to run. So catch you guys in the next video.